Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. And today, I want to talk about and show you some examples that I just got and I'm getting ready to list of book sets and book lots. And some of the, just something to be on the lookout for, to train your eye. And it shows some opportunities that you don't even have to have all of the books. When we talk about a book set, often, the implication of that is that it's some enumerated set. There's multiple volumes and you have the whole set. And anytime you can get the whole set, that's great. You often get a multiplier on price if you have all the volumes in a set. But then generically, we talk about book lots, and I'll show you an example of something that I just sold. It's what I call reader lots. These are books that it's by a single author or a single series that might be very prolific, a lot of them. And if I can bundle these things together, and they're not in really great condition for collectibles, but people just like to read them. So I had this series. I had bought it several months ago. It's on The Ashes, old William Johnstone. He's written tons of stuff on the Ashes series. He's got the Mountain Men series. They're a little dated. I actually went back and read one of them on the Ashes. I had not ever read the series, and I found it's an interesting premise and the characters, but I found it to be a little bit dated. But I put all these together. I got them at like a church sale, these that I've just popped up, and I think I was like, I paid a quarter a piece for them, and I just sold the lot, you can see, for like $49.99. And these things they were all complete, but they had lots of creases and wears. So that's one thing. If you're looking to sell things in lots or sets, always think of the reader lots. If you can get a lot of one genre, one author, one subject, matter thing together, then you can sell those that way. And that's a good example. Here's some other examples on a lot of on the paperback front that I just got and I'm getting ready to list. So here's a set. This is a Jack Chalker, okay? And these are, fantasy sci-fi guy, and there's only 3 books. Now this is what I'd call a book set. It's one author, but you can see, a lot of times, see how it'll say, if you can read there, where it'll say like book 1 of this Quintera Marathon, okay? And so there's 3 books in the series. I was at this thrift store that I don't get too much. It's on the other side of town. I go there every now and then, but their regular size paperbacks are 25 cents. And that's why it made, this a profitable proposition on these I'm going to show you right here. Obviously price, if you're trying to bundle a bunch of stuff together and they're $2 or $3 each, that's tough unless they're really special, right? You've got to get them at the right price. And I know depending on where you live, and how things get priced, that is a really tough thing for you, but it's something just to be thinking about. But these were a quarter a piece. I actually have a sold comp on this set, these exact editions, for $15. So it's not huge money, but it's 75 cents turned into $15 plus some shipping. Not too bad. Here's another set. Now these are crazy, and I haven't read any of these. They actually look pretty interesting. But it's this Larry Coria. I just got these, and he does this Monster Hunter series, okay? And there's like Monster Hunter International, Monster Hunter Vendetta, kind of cool covers, A lot of times you'll see these, there's this Bane, these authors for this, man, they really pump them out. Monster Hunter Alpha. So there's a whole bunch of them in the series. Now, what I've learned from this one, I have sold comps on Vendetta and International together for $20, just 2 of them. I'm gonna put 3. The series is much bigger, but I'm just gonna sell these as a book lot. It's not a full book set, but it's just 3 of a similar thing, and they're gonna sell, I think, at least for $20. I got these for a quarter each. And one thing I did find on this Monster Hunter series, I'm gonna be looking for these. I think it's gonna be easy to remember in hardback. There are some of these, I think I saw Vendetta, like the hardback editions of this, seem like they sell for like 40 or $50. So I will definitely be able to remember that. And in my places I go that have little sci-fi sections and fantasy sections, I'll be keeping my eye out for Monster Hunters and hardback. So here's another example. This one, I haven't read this series, but it's, you know, when they're sitting there and you see, this is what I do with my eyeball. When I see everything and they're all very similar, or you see a bunch of them by the same author like this, and they're lined up by this Kevin Anderson, there's 6 of them. And this turns out to be the Saga of Seven Sons. I haven't read this. There's a 7th one out now, so there's actually 7, I think, in the whole series. These are 6 of them. And you can tell that these 4 were an earlier edition, and then you can tell because the styles change, right? This is a later edition. But still, I mean, somebody would love to have all these in the same edition, but these 6 together should go for about $25. Again, I got them for $1 a piece, so I got $1.50 in them. And the reason people will buy them like this, a lot of times, if you haven't checked out the price of books lately, you know, if you're not a big reader, or, you know, I mean, these are, I don't know what year these were done, but these were like $7.99, okay? And a lot of times, even paperbacks, you know, if you go onto Amazon and even you're buying digital, it kills me when the digital books, you know, ebooks are like $11, $12, $13. I mean, I'll pay that for a hardback, but I personally don't want to pay that for an electronic, you know, a digital book. I just don't, it's just crazy. So when you think about that, if somebody's going in and buying a digital book, or if they're buying these at their local bookstore, you know, and I bet this book, I don't know when this one was printed, but I bet it's not $7.99 anymore, but it's $9 or $10.99. So for somebody to read this, you know, they're going to be at least $60 probably, you know, maybe more. And so if they can get them for $25 on eBay, that's why it's always a good deal, right? So I think these will sell for $25, okay? One more thing. On the paperback front, this was all from the same thrift store selling these paperbacks for $1. Look, here's all kinds of Dunes, okay? You know, the series Dune's hot now because it's, is it HBO Max? You know, the 2nd season of Dune is about to start. You know, Frank Herbert's quintessential novel, which I will admit, I have tried to read it. I just can't get into it. So I love sci-fi, I love fantasy. I know that everybody say, oh, Dune is the best. I've tried to read it multiple times, can't get into it. And listen, at 55, life is too short to struggle through a book. If I can't get into it in the first couple of chapters or the first 50 pages, first 30, 40 pages, I'm just gonna move on. I just can't. I used to be, I would push and say, I'm gonna finish this book just so I can say I can finish it. Not anymore. That may be sacrilege to some people, but I'm like, there are too many good things to read out there. I'm not gonna push it. I was in my library bookstore, and this older guy came in, and he's looking at like the what I'd call serious literature, like Old English, and he gets to talking to the lady who worked up front that he had retired and then gone to Cambridge to just do some classes just for self-enrichment, and lived over there, took some classes, was working on a master's degree in, like, you know, Old English, and he was working his way through the centuries, and he was stuck in the 17th century or something, and he just couldn't read anymore, and so he was going to skip forward and read some modern stuff. And I thought, man, dude, more power to you if that's what stimulates your mind. But to me, I'm like, I love to read, I read a lot, but that sounds like torture to kind of just chronologically the last, you know, 500 years of serious English literature. So anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. But these Dune books, Dune's hot. Here's, I don't know, there's 8 of these. I think I could list these and sell them now for $30, $35. But what I think I'm going to do, because a lot of these are, there's, okay, I'm going to pull Dune Chapter House out. Oh, and in Dune, there was a newer version of it. I like that cover. That's a cool cover. Look at that. So a lot of these were the ones that were written, I think, by his son or something, and other collaborators, 5 of them. And then, you know, I got 2 copies of, oh, I'm sorry, that was Children of Dune. There's a Dune, the original Dune looks brown like this, right? It says Dune. But see, I've got Dune, Children, and Chapter House that were Frank Herbert. But there's you know, there's the God Emperor of Dune, there's the Heretics of Dune. I think there's one more that it's escaping me right now, but I see them a lot. I think what I'm going to do is hold this set and not sell them yet, and I'm going to look for God Emperor, you know, the Heretics and whichever one I can't remember right now, and I'm going to look for those, and then I might put them in. So then I would have like the 6 basic, like Frank Herbert specific Dune books, and then I would have, you know, I'll throw all these, you know, with where they have the houses, you know, the newer ones together, and then I think that they'll bring, you know, in that $60 to $70. You see these, I see them selling these lots of 10 to 12 of the Dune books like this, selling for 60 to 80 bucks all day. So I think if I can find those other two, even if I pay $1 each for them at my normal sources, you know, I'm only going to be like $4 in, and it could be a bump of 30 or 40 bucks. So that's my plan for this book set. Okay. All right. Now moving on. I got these at a different source. It was a library bookstore, and okay, so the first ones I'll show you are, I got 30 of these Louis L'Amour, what I call the leatherette, the brown copies, okay? There's like 132 of books in this Louis L'Amour brown leatherette. You've probably seen them if you've been around. There's like 132 of them. You'll see people that if they have the whole set, they're like $1,500 or something, or $1,000. So I actually paid $1 each for these, which I don't want to pay any more than that for these, and I only want to pay that for them in quantity. I got 30 different ones, right? I will say that on these, I got me a cheat sheet here because it's always hard to remember. There are, in this leatherette edition, if you see these, there are some. There's one called Rowdy Rides, R-O-W-D-Y, Rowdy Rides. By itself will bring 80 to 100 bucks. Okay, there's a couple of others. There's a short story collection, editions of that. There's one called Off the Mangrove Coast. These will they can bring 100 bucks each for single volumes, okay? Now, just the regular stuff. There's a couple ways to play these when you see them. There's the Sacketts. If you can get a lot of the Sackett books, these are like Jubal Sackett. There was like titles like Lando, Sackett's Land. There's some of them that don't say Sackett in them. You just have to kind of look them up. You can put the Sackett books together, and they will sell nicely. Like I saw one set that was like 18 Sacketts, 18 of the Sacketts books that sold for 125 bucks. The ones that I bought, I had about 10 of the Sackett books, okay? I don't know if I had any in here. These, I didn't pull them all up here on the desk, but let's see if I have any. Oh, yeah, so, okay. See, Sackett, okay. And then there's, there you go, Sackett's Land. So one strategy on these is and I got to research exactly how I'm going to do it, is I can break the Sackett ones off and sell them by themselves. All right, I've got 30. All right, I might be able to do better if I do that and then sell the other 20 or the 10 Sacketts by themselves and sell the other 20 in a separate lot. Here's what I see on comps on these. I saw one set of 12 go for 90 bucks. These are just various miscellaneous Louis L'Amour leatherette titles, right? Another was like 28 went for 107. There was a lot of 24 that sold for 85. There was a lot of 18 that sold for 50. A lot of 31 that sold for $71. And a lot of 25 that sold for $90. So those are just some examples. Oh, there was another one that was like 28 that sold for 110. That was, so I had two examples of something around 30, which is what I had, 28, and they were selling for $107, $110. So that means that those are selling for roughly $4 each. If you do the math, you see it kind of anywhere from $2.50 to $7 each when these things are bundled. And that's really kind of the secret of, you know, when you're bundling things together in book sets or book lots, is you're kind of looking for what is that average price. You know, it's a good mindset when you're checking these out. What is the average price when I put all these together? because individually they're bringing, you have maybe one copy that it's like a special copy that'll bring a higher price, but individually these things are only bringing $2, $3, $4 is what people are trying to sell them, and they're not selling. So when you put them together, what kind of price are they bringing? I'm seeing $2.50 to $7 each for these. I think on average they're around $4. So for 30, I'm probably going to price my 30 at about like $115 to $119. And then if somebody offers me $100 for them, I would take that. I've got $30 in these, so my profit margin is not going to be as high as I would normally want it to be. If I sell them for 100, I'm going to have eBay fees of 20. I'll add the shipping on top of that. I got $30 in them. I would make $50 profit. Again, not the profit margin, the multiplier that I would normally get off $30, but I think it'll be a pretty easy sell. And it's, the opportunity presents itself, you know, that's good. So this last ones I'm going to show you, I think are going to be a big value. I bought, these are the religious books from a daily study Bible series. Some of these from the 70s, some of them are a little newer. Here's a little newer one. And I'll just hold up. I bought, there were like 33 or so, no, 25. I've got a whole bunch more of them down here that I won't bore you with, but you know, they're all the same things. Books of the Bible, you know, the Revelation of John, Volume 2, but it's all this daily Bible series. Now, library I got these from, I paid 50 cents for them. So I've got $12.50 in them, all right? I have examples of these selling, you know, anywhere between 25 and 30 of these selling for 140 to 160 bucks. This is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna put these together, and there's more of them that's incomplete, but they're still going to bring, they should still bring 140, 150 bucks, I believe. Now, if I had all of them, I think that multiplier goes up, and I think you're in that 200, 225 range. But I'm just gonna put all these great 25 of them. They will bring in that time, that kind of, you know, dollar profit figure. And so again, when I'm looking at them, I was going along, and the religious section of books are ones that you have to really, there's a lot of chaff in that wheat. But what caught my eye, again, they were all stacked up together and they were very similar, right? So when my eye sees this, that's what I'm instantly thinking, book set, book lot, let's check it out. See what kind of the average value is, what they get if I put these together. That's the strategy, that's what you do. Clearly, you can't do that if you're paying $5 each for these. It doesn't work. The other downside, you get these, they take up more space, right? It's a book lot. And if you got to have the bigger boxes to put them all in, because you can't ship 25 of these in a mailer, even if you're in that camp or not in a box camp. You need a good box. So, you know, you got space and then weight. You know, it's just more carrying depending on how many they are. Now, some of these smaller sets that I've got aren't a big deal, but that's the downside is probably space and weight and boxing. I will say, to keep them all together, what I do is once I list them, I'll just take saran wrap. Of course, you can do it with, if you've got the more industrial stuff, you know, like the plastic wrap, you know, like from Lowe's and Home Depot that you would like wrap around pallets or something. But even just take saran wrap, like your regular store saran wrap. I'll put them together, you know, and then I'll saran wrap them, and it keeps like that one volume from getting lost, right? So if I got 6, I know they goes together. Yeah, at least that way you just don't lose one copy or have to dig for it. So anyway, that's it. Lots of tips. And the bottom line is book sets can be very profitable. Book lots, book sets. You don't have to have them all. It's good if you do. But train your eye when you see a lot of stuff that's similar. Train your eye to go and check it out. It's a good thing. So anyway, that's it. Hopefully you guys, you know, see cool, buy cool, and then list it so you can sell it. And hey, if you hadn't subscribed, if you're still watching and you hadn't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let's get on up to 6,000. You keep watching, I'll keep doing it. Talk to you soon. Bye.